if you have ever tried eating a whole food diet, a healthy diet, or if that's something you're trying right now and you keep failing to do so, you keep having those cycles where you, like once a week, twice a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, you'll just randomly cheat on your diet, right? You'll randomly just start eating processed food. You'll see the candy or the chocolate that's filled with processed sugars and refined carbohydrates, right? And you keep going through that cycle where it's like you do good for 3-4 days and then you just have that one day where it just randomly messes up your routine, and then you have to spend another 3-4 days getting back on track and on that clean diet again. Then I think it's because there's something lacking in your mindset. It's not just systems where, as if like if you didn't have the food around you, you wouldn't eat it. That is true. But I know for a lot of people, you just can't control that. You live with other people where they're going to eat it, right? They're going to eat those foods and you're not going to tell them what to eat, right? There's only so much you can do about educating and motivating. But end of the day, there has to be a change within these people to really influence the way that they eat, especially if they've been eating a certain type of way for years and decades, right? But when you're applying that same logic to yourself, you would not eat those foods if you're a different type of person. If you're your ideal person, no matter your surroundings, you would stick to that diet. You would still be eating healthy, and you wouldn't even consider eating like the processed junk food, right? Because you know of the effects that it applies on your health. And so the reason why I say that is because people who usually don't focus on their diet just don't care about their health, and that stems from them not caring about themselves, and that usually also just stems from like a lack of self-love or a presence of like self-hate and self-sabotage, because you don't see yourself as being deserving of being like a top 1% person in terms of health, fitness, and just top 1% overall, right? In whatever you're trying to achieve in terms of goals in your life. If you're a student or you're a businessman or you're a content creator, you just don't see yourself as being deserving of being the top 1% in your industry, right? But if you're applying that to health, you don't see yourself as being like, you don't see it, you see yourself as like, yeah, not even just deserving. You don't have enough value to be able to be the healthiest top 1%. But if you're a different version of yourself where you thought that you deserve and you should and must take care of your health, right? Because you value yourself enough, you would not even touch that food, right? And even if you did touch that food, you would like have like a certain type of like disgust and discontentment because of the fact that you know what it does to your body, right? The fact that you know it's gonna make you feel like crap for the next few days, right? And so if you just valued yourself more, if you started seeing yourself as a person who is like the top 1% healthiest people in the world, then you would do that, right? It's the same thing as like the person who sees themselves as the athlete, or or like a businessman, then they would do the tasks that align with that self-identity, right? Yeah, if you saw yourself as an athlete, then you would do the things that a typical athlete would do, right? You would go to the gym, You would eat clean. You would sleep on time. You would rest when you need to. You would say no to going to parties and drinking and taking drugs, right? But if you didn't see yourself as an athlete, or if you saw yourself as a part-time athlete, or not like a serious athlete, then you would do the things that a non-serious athlete would do. So right now you're not seeing yourself as a person who cares about their health. As you don't see yourself as a healthy person, and that's exactly why you're not doing the things. But a mind trick that you can do is that you can already just change your mind to have self-thoughts that you are a healthy person, even when you aren't there yet as of right now. Because that's one thing that I did when I wasn't being consistent with going to the gym, for example. I would just see myself as like a bodybuilder or an athlete, whatever you want to call it. So then I was like, okay, no, but I'm an athlete. So an athlete goes to the gym, whether they like it or they don't like it. They just stick to their plan. If they say they're going 5 times a week, then they're going 5 times a week at the times and the days that they said they would, right? They don't care if they feel good that day or not. They just do whatever they have to do to achieve their goals, to align with that self-identity. So if you want to eat healthy, you need to think of yourself as a healthy person, as a person who takes care of their health for longevity, for performance, for cognitive well-being, right? So that you don't, when you're studying, I don't have brain fog, so that when I'm talking to someone, I don't feel like I can't even comprehend what they're saying, because I've eaten so much processed sugar and refined carbohydrates and processed wheat, right? Because a healthy person wouldn't do that. A healthy person wouldn't feel that. A healthy person, on average, would feel very energetic, like that they can do whatever they need to do. They're not limited by their health. And so that's exactly the mindset you need to adopt, and the thoughts you need to have of yourself. If you think of yourself as someone who's not serious about their diet and their nutrition, then you're not gonna take care of your nutrition, obviously, right? But the thing is, I guarantee that's what you think of yourself right now, right? You don't think of yourself as like someone who's really dedicated and really interested in healthy nutrition. You just you'll eat healthy for a few days, because right now there's a few like trendy health influencers that talk about eating whole foods and whatnot, right? And so it's cool to just jump on the trend and eat on a wooden cutting board, right? And you'll eat your medium rare steak and whatever. But then when those cravings come, right, when you look at the processed food, you're not going to resist it much, because you don't think of yourself as someone who would stay away from that, right? And so just adopt the mindset. It's going to take time, like always, with everything. But once you repeat those thoughts, even when you don't want to, even when you don't feel like you deserve it, just repeat those thoughts in your head that you are someone that takes their health seriously, and then slowly start doing the actions that align with that self-identity more. The more you do it, the more that positive feedback loop will strengthen. And then therefore, slowly, bit by bit, you'll get to a point where you will become that person that you're telling yourself you are. For example, if let's say you're someone who goes to the gym now, at some point in your life, you didn't go to the gym, right? But you slowly had to convince yourself that, no, I take the gym seriously because I want to. And then you slowly start going, you become more consistent, to the point where it's it's kind of a non-negotiable in my day. I have to go to the gym. I have to, hit my 10K steps every single day, no matter what the day, no matter how I'm feeling, right? So just apply that to other aspects of your life. Whatever you feel like you're lacking in, any aspect of your life, just apply that same logic, and you will see big results in your goals when it comes to health and anything else that can apply. And so if you wanted to learn more on how you can actually lose weight while still eating healthy and not destroying your health, then just click the first link in the description. It's going to be my course that teaches you exactly how to do that, and I'll see you there.